प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवती अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। One of the most sacred mantras in the Vedas is going to be the ending of this particular chapter. Which chapter? 17th chapter. And what is that mantra? Om Tat Sat. This is a very lovely mantra. And Om, of course, is a sound of blessing. It is loaded by the Shastra to mean many, many things. It is Ishvara. Om is a sound symbol denoting Ishvara, Bhagavan, and to show that that Ishvara is not separate from the truth of oneself. Om also denotes the individual jiva, not only in one particular form, but in the form of the waker, sleeper, and then dreamer. Yeah, don't dream right now. Yeah. So, dreamer, waker, sleeper, dreamer. And the waker, sleeper and dreamer on the individual level is non-separate from the waking world and the unmanifest consciousness, Ishvara, in the form of Pralaya, and then the potential to manifest Hiranyagarbha, various iterations of Bhagavan. Not content with that, Om is also that reality which transcends the Jagat completely. So much to say, what Jagat? You see any Jagat? No Jagat. Where is this Jagat? What are we talking about? Jagadandhya prasangaha means there is no Jagat to look at from this standpoint. When we are talking at this, what is it called? Ontological level. One is the logical level, the other one is what? Ontological level. Ontological level. Means beyond, where you understand how the reality is understood, how knowledge is understood. That is called ontology. So, so here, this is Om. And that consciousness, which is Om, which is beyond the individual and the total, beyond creation, beyond created, all these dualities, is signified by the silence that follows the chanting of one Om and the beginning of the other. Om, 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 Om. So there is a little silence, right? And that silence is what? Shows the absence of everything. Jagat, Jagat Karanam, Jiva, and then other problems, complaints, nothing. But who is there? The consciousness is very much present. That is also Om. So this Om, apparently, just as by way of a story, when Lord Brahmaji created this universe, at the end of the creation, he was very happy with the whole universe. Yes, all these colors, all these people, all these things. And he is purported to have said 2 words. What was that? Don't say Om Tat Sat. That is your hint. How many words is Om Tat Sat? Yeah. Here what did he say? 2. So what did he say? Om Atha. So Om and Atha are words of blessing, sounds of blessing. You can either say Om or you can say Atha. Here Lord Krishna takes up Om only because it is close to home, and it is close to the heart, it is close to home. And so he takes up this Om as the mantra of auspiciousness, especially for overcoming any deficits in these 3 areas. What are the 3 areas? Yajna, Dana, Tapaha. You can also add Ahara. Ahara, food. So in all these 3 areas, if there are any deficits in my karma, in my actions, I say Om Tat Sat, or I can just say Om. And in fact many other options Lord Krishna is going to give. Or I can say Tat. If I just say Tat is enough. Tat is Brahman. Or I can say Sat. That was also same. So lots of options are given. Very beautiful. And then so each one he is going to go through in the next 3 verses, having introduced the mantra Om Tat Sat. And of course, as I said in the closing of the last class, whenever that was, before the weekend, what did I say? I said that it is not a catch-all. It is not like I am keeping on doing wrong things and then saying Om Tat Sat. This is not going to absolve. So we have to be careful here. It is for genuine mistakes, not wrong and bad habits. Okay? Yeah. So then, which verse are we on? Yeah, 24th. Tasmado mityudahritya yajnadana tapah kriyaha pravartante vidhanoktaha satatam brahmavadinam. Tasmat means therefore, wherefore, because this mantra was uttered by Lord Brahmaji and it has come from the Veda, therefore, Tasmat Om iti udahritya. Udahritya means Ucharya, having uttered, having uttered the word Om, all the yajna, dana, tapaha activities in the form of rituals, in the form of austerities, in the form of other actions, pravartante, they begin, they keep flowing, they are, they are, what is that? They keep flowing and they are done. How do they keep flowing? Vidhanoktaha, as taught by the scriptures. Vidhana means vidhis, injunctions, etc. Satatam, they always keep flowing in a nice way. Brahmavadinam, Brahmavadinam means the people who know the Vedas say this. Brahmavadin, Brahmavadin. And then there were also Brahmavadini. One example of Brahmavadini, Gargi, is known as Brahmavadini. So there was a choice after the Gurukula education. One could either take a life of marriage or go directly to Naishthika Brahmacharya and Sannyasa. So in the ancient times, the people who took to that life were known as Brahmavadi or Brahmavadini, people who became kind of sannyasis soon after Brahmacharya. Or you could go through the ashramas one by one, and then after, what was that third one? Starts with a V, Vanaprastha. So after Vanaprastha, you could take sannyasa also. So Brahmavadina means the ancient knowledgeable ones. The ancient knowledgeable ones in the form of the Brahmavadis, Brahmavadinis, already mentioned that this is a, what is that? This is a purificatory mantra. It purifies not only the kriya, the actions, means non-religious actions here. Religious actions, yajna, tapaha is given. So, secular actions, eating, drinking, etc. If you utter Om, it purifies that. It also purifies every other action, religious and secular. And then it purifies not only the actions, but also who? Actors. Not only the actions it purifies. It purifies the one who is performing the actions. The power is so much. And especially sannyasis are told to chant Om all the time. Keep saying Om. When in doubt, Om it out. Keep saying Om, 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 Om. Non-sannyasis are told, don't do that. Okay? If you want to say Om, what should you say? Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Like this, you add the Om to a mantra. If you say, no, I want to do what the sannyasis do, and then say Om, Om, Om. You keep oming it out secretly, even though one has been told not to Om. Okay? And then what happens? One is neither here nor there. One becomes sick of life, but then one is not that interested in the knowledge either. So that's why until one is ready, until one gets sannyasa, don't go with kevala omkara. But here is an exception, because if yajna, dana, etc. at the end we say Om Tat Sat Sarvam Brahmarpanamastu, because it's part of this whole mantra. Here you can say, because you are offering it along with all the doshas, the fallacies and everything, you are offering it up. So this is something you can afford to say. So this is what the people did in order not only to purify the karmas, but also to purify the karta. This is something which is very nice. Further, Tadityanabhisandhaya Phalam yajñatapah kriyaha Dana क्रियाश्च विविधाः क्रियन्ते मोक्षकाङ्क्षिभिः So this next mantra, next portion of this mantra, which is what? Hello? Tat. Yes. So, Tat. Om, we finished, and then Tat. So this one is preferred by the mumukshus. Why? Because they are told not to chant only Om, Om, Om. So what shall I chant? Tat. 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 Tat means what? Ishvara, Brahman. As in, Tat Tvam Asi. That which you are equated to is what? Jagat Karanam Brahma. It's the name for Ishvara. Even though it means far away, it's not really far away. It is you. It means that. That is always something remote. And the Upanishad is going along with your own, what's it called? One's own ajnanam. Just to make one feel at home. Not home, okay? So, just to make one feel at home, the Upanishad is as though going with one's own ajnanam, Om, and then here is Tat. Tat is the name for Ishvara. So, Tat iti phalam anabhisandhaya yajna tapakriyayaha. So, yajna tapakriyayaha phalam anabhisandhaya, without expecting certain results of the yajna and the tapas, and also in the next line dana is going to be mentioned. These three things which have occupied the major portion of the 17th chapter discussion. So without expecting results. Without expecting results, nobody will do anything. Okay? Then without expecting results means what? Without being attached to a particular kind of result. That is what the Lord intends to say. Without being attaching to a particular form or a kind of result, then what are they doing? Mokshakanshis, mumukshus, they are saying Tat while doing this karma. Why? To be freed of the connection, the automatic connection that comes. Even if I give 1 rupee as dhanam, I expect a thank you. And so this is what. And then if supposing the person who is asking for the money looks at the begging bowl disappointedly, I get upset. What? I gave you 1 rupee. Go. What's wrong with you? Like this one feels like saying. And so therefore here may that not happen. May I not be full of myself when I give. May I not come in my own way of my own growth. May I not sabotage my own growth. Iti, what do you say? Tat, 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 tat. Ishvara, 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 like that. So, who are the people who say these? Mumukshus, Jignasus, also by interpolation. Mumukshus and Jignasus, the wanters, the desirers of freedom, and the desirers of knowledge. What do they say? They say Tat. When? Yajna, dana, tapakriya. Whenever they do yajna, rituals, dana, charity, and then what else? Dana, tapaha, austerities. Vividhaha means all of various kinds. Then what else is left? Sat is left. Thankfully the answer came quickly. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha. Sadbhave sadhubhave cha. Sadityetat prayujyate. Sadityetat prayujyate. Prashaste karmani tatha. Prashaste karmani tatha. Sachabdav parthayujyate. Sachabdav parthayujyate. So this is very sweet. Sadbhave. Sad is, bhave means in the sense of existence. The word sat is used in the sense of existence. This we have seen. Where? As in Satchit Ananda, And also in the second chapter, 18th verse, na asataha bhavaha. That verse. Sat means existence. We have seen that in detail. So, sat bhave. Sat is in the sense of bhave, in the sense of an abstract existence. An existence that is unattached to any particular name or form. The principle upon which everything exists. So if I say body exists, that exists belongs to Sat. Like as in flower is belongs to Sat, and then flower, what is flower? Namarupa, word and meaning. Okay, so like that. So the existence all the is in the whole universe belongs to what? Sat, Ishvara. And then everything as whatever is finite, because I'm only looking at the objectifiable aspects of that, which is what? Namarupa, word, meaning, name, form. So word and meaning means what? That which is based on the tongue. Vak arambhanam, that which begins with the vak, speech, that which begins with the uchcharana. Vak alambhanam, dependent on speech. So therefore, there is nothing much to talk about, in other words, because all that we are talking about is what? Name and form, word and meaning, word and meaning, word and meaning. That's why all the Upanishads unanimously say, Anya vacha pramunchata. Give up all other talk. What is all other talk? Other than Satchit Ananda. Other than Vedanta, there is nothing to talk about. Give up all other talk, and then, oh, should I take Maunam? No, don't take Maunam. Keep talking what? Vedanta. Then what happens? What happens is what is listed in the 10th chapter towards the end. Tat kathanam, tat chintanam, parasparam, tad avabodhanam. You will keep on just talking Vedanta. What shall I gossip about Vedanta? Oh, you want to know a juicy story of two asuras? Vedanta. So, this is all to talk about, there is nothing to talk about. So here, Sad Bhave, Sad is in the sense of existence alone. And not only that, when somebody does some good job, the Lord Krishna says, it is Sat, Sadhu Bhave. When something is well done, you say Sat. So it is existence, it is in the notion of well done, and then what's the third one? Prashaste karmani tatha. So it is well done. It is what is that? A specific karma that is well done, and then it is also that is the last one. The middle one is dharma. So sadhu bhave means that which is in keeping with dharma. So Sat means Ishvara, existence, Ishvara from the standpoint of the source of all existence, and then Ishvara in the form of dharma, second meaning. Third meaning, Ishvara in the form of karma, that is well done. Sadbhave, sadhu bhave cha. And then sadit etat prayujyate. The word sat is used in these forms. And then prashaste karmani tatha sat shabdah partha yujyate. This sat, the word sat is very, very auspicious because it is used in all these ways in the world. Okay. Next one. Yagne tapasi dane cha. Yagne tapasi dane cha. Sthiti sidati chocyate. Patha bheda is there? What happened? Oh, saditi. Huh. Okay, yeah. Sthiti saditi chocyate. Karma chaiva tadarthiyam. Sadityevabhidhiyate. Yagne, with reference to the ritual. Vishaya Saptami. Then Dane, with reference to all the charitable words. Tapasi, with reference to austerities, religious disciplines, etc. Then all that, any kind of a nishtha, sthitihi means nishtha. Nitaram sthitihi is the definition of the word nishtha. So here only sthiti is mentioned. That means that commitment. So that commitment, nishtha, what is that nishtha? That nishtha is this commitment, and this commitment is called sat. So it is, this is what is called sat. And then what else is sat? Cha uchyate karma chaiva tadarthiyam. And for whose sake all this is done? For whose sake tapas is done? Ayyo, Rama. Quickly, bega, quickly. For whose sake? I didn't say what sake. Whose sake? Ishvara. Ishvara. Who is the recipient of yajna? Who is the recipient of dana? Who is the recipient of tapas? That is also called sat. That's all it is there. Okay? Yeah. Sometimes the most obvious answers don't come. We are thinking of, what is that? All the other possibilities. Overthinking. Yeah, so this is the thing. So, most obvious is right there, hidden like the Atma, which is right there but not immediately accessible. So here, not only the offering in the form of yajna, dana, tapas is called what? Sat. But to whom it is offered is also called what? Sat. Offerer is also sat. It's like that 4th chapter verse. Brahmarpanam brahmahavihi. Like that. Sadarpanam sadhavihi. Everything. It's all sat, sat, sat. Then, last one. Ashraddhaya hutam dattam. Ashraddhaya hutam dattam. Tapastaptam kritam chayat. Tapastaptam kritam chayat. Asadityuchyate partha. Asadityuchyate partha. Nachatat pretya no hiha. Nachatat pretya no hiha. So then, since what is the name of this chapter? The name of this chapter is the 3 forms of Shraddha. Right? Yeah. So then we have gone far away from the topic of Shraddha. So it would seem, because we have gone to the related topics such as Yajna, Dana, Tapas, etc. So in the last verse, Lord Krishna wants to bring back the topic to what? Shraddha. And so he says, Ashraddhaya hutam. A yajna that is done without Shraddha. Like the kind I talked about, interfaith yajna, remember that? Yeah. A yajna that is done without Shraddha. And then what else? Dattam, Ashraddha, Dattam, and a danam that is done without Shraddha. You just want to get rid of somebody, and therefore one just gives because one wants to get rid of somebody. That's, that is not particularly with Shraddha one is giving. Or one is giving because it's the norm to give, and one doesn't really want to be bothered, so one just gives. So that is Ashraddhaya hutam. This Ashraddhaya has to be brought with each and every word. Ashraddhaya dattam, Ashraddhaya taptam. All that will be in the past passive participle. Hutam, then dattam, and then taptam. So, without Shraddha, if one does tapas, it would be called gymnastics. That's all. Ishvara is not the recipient, I'm just doing for building up the body, that's all. And then, but the same thing, if Ishvara is the recipient and I do this, then it becomes yogasana. Then that means it's offering, it is surrender of the entire body, mind, sense complex to Ishvara. And so sometimes in the Western schools and all, there is a big controversy. Oh, is yoga Hindu? Let's see what to do. If yoga is Hindu, then we don't want Hindu. We want Hindont. And so, what should we do? And then, so we should take away Om Mitraya Namaha, take that out of the curriculum. And then, little bit of, what is that, sitting in meditation at the end of the yoga, take that out. Because meditation may make this child Hindu. And then what else you can take out? Any connection to Ishvara, any kind of a thing, chanting 3 Oms, sometimes they do at the end. Take that out. No Om. First Om cut out, second Om cut out, third Om cut out, cut. And then what? And instead of all the names, Adho Mukha Shvanasana, Urdhva Mukha Shvanasana. By the time they say that itself, if you don't know Sanskrit, you will feel like passing out because it's such a long things. So then even to translate is too much. What is that? Down dog, up dog, all these things. And so therefore, they just do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like this. And all the steps of the Surya Namaskara. And don't call it Surya Namaskara. This is not Namaskara. You can't do Namaskara. Namaskara is only to one particular God because no other God. See, this is very interesting. They will say there is only one God and therefore you should not worship any other God. I am a little confused. If there is only one God, how can I worship any other God? Tell me. I cannot, even if I tried. But somehow that's how there is. So Namaskara, so we don't say. And then you take it all out. And then what does that become? That becomes like a exercise. That does not, it does not have that Ishvararpana Buddhi. It's not even sun salutation. Really, it's not Surya Namaskar. Surya is Bhagavan. The first manifestation of Bhagavan I see when I wake up. He wakes me up. He gets me out of bed, which is not an easy thing to do. So he manages to do what even people cannot do. With jugs of water, they cannot wake me up. Sunlight wakes me up. Bhagavan wakes me up. Fantastic. So that is why I say thank you. I adore this. I adore Bhagavan in the form of sun. That which warms me up, that which wakes me up, that which gets me through the day, that not only which wakes me up, which wakes up the entire, this side of the Jagat facing the sun, this side of the planet facing the sun, it wakes everybody up. So nice. And so, therefore, here, ashraddhaya taptam. So, any tapas that is done without shraddha is not going to help. And ashraddhaya dattam. Giving just like here, take, go away. I don't even want to make eye contact, take and go away. That is also not going to help. Ashraddhaya hutam. Hutam means any kind of a formal ritual, etc. You keep putting things. And in fact, in the olden times, the stories in the Puranic stories will say that Asuras decided to do yajna. What will they do? They have not studied anything. And even if they have studied, they have fallen asleep. Because they also had a guru. What was his name? Shukracharya. Not the fault of the guru. Poor Shukracharya. Shukracharya was also teaching what? Tattvamasi only. Only his prarabdha was not very good. He had asuras as disciples. That's all happened. His karma was not very good, agreed. But he would also teach the same things as the Sura Guru. Who is Sura Guru? Brihaspati. Brihaspati also taught the same thing. Shukracharya also taught the same thing. But he had bad students. So students who were not very bad means bad as students. They were not very alert. and they were not very interested. Ayogyata was there, Yogyata was not there. And so perhaps when he taught them Yajna Vidhi and all, they slept off. Then they suddenly decided to do Yajna. What would they do? All that they remembered is that sometimes Indra would take their services, the king of heaven. When anybody was doing the 97th or the 98th Rajasuya Yajna, kingly Yajna, if you do 100 of them, what happens? You say, in a second you replace Indra. Anyone wants to replace Indra? No. Okay. So, that's good. So then, it was very difficult this Rajasuya Ashwamedha Yajna to do. And so, you have to let a horse roam for a year, and then it should not be killed or caught. And then all the people in all the other neighboring things should pledge allegiance and all these things. Then these yajnas you can do. And then 97th, 98th, asuras would be enlisted, bribed, paid off with some boons. Okay, you can marry one of the heavenly nymphs, like that. They would be paid off. And then they would be told to put a wing of a crow in the yajna which the rishis were doing. In order to do what? Yajna bhanga. Bhanga means breakage of that particular yajna. So if that 97th yajna is broken, okay, doesn't matter, I'll do 97 again. No, you have to start with what? One. It's like a game of snake and ladders. You know the board game, snake and ladders? You throw the die, tick, 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 you go with your little pawn. In fact, you are the pawn. And then you go there. And then you say, 98, oh, I'm almost there. There is one bada snake that takes you all the way back. Where? One. That's how the expression back to square one has come from. Back to square one. That's how that expression has come. Here also same thing. And so if the asuras were to sit and do yajna, they will not remember anything they were taught, because they slept through it. They thought it was a lullaby. All the vidhis and all the Upanishads were also lullabies. And so then what did they do? What would they do if they did yajna? They would bring bat wings, crow's wings, and dead frogs. Or this is what they would put in the yajna. Ashraddhaya hutam, ashraddhaya dattam. And we saw all these examples of ashraddha dana, dana without shraddha. Belittling the person you give them, condescendingly you give. And all these things we saw. And so, ashraddhaya taptam, all these three things, when that happens, then, it is called asad iti uchyate. It is not sat. Sat is part of this mantra. Om tat sat. It is the most auspicious thing. Here it is asat. Asat here doesn't mean mithya. Asat means really opposite of sat. If sat is auspicious, asat is what? Inauspicious, totally. And then it is inauspicious. And why is it inauspicious? Na tat pretya na iha. It is inauspicious because it is purposeless, it is meaningless, it is useless, it is hopeless. Why? It is not of any use here, because what do you get out of doing these kinds of practices? Not only do you not get punya, what do you get? Papa. Then after one departs the body and goes, what does one get? The fruits of that papa. So, natat iha, neither does one get benefited here nor elsewhere in the afterlife. So therefore, Om Tat Sat. Om Tat Sat. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gita Upanishatsu. Brahma Vidyayam. Yoga Shastre. Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade. Shabhatraya Vibhaga Yogo Nama Saptadashodhyayah. So then, this actually concludes the Bhagavad Gita and the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita. This is what Adi Shankara says in his Bhashya. This is how we write essays these days. Whatever we want to say, we say it in short, and then we open it up, expound on it, elaborate on the points, unfold all the points, and then we all bring it back into one more summary at the end. And the name of that is the 18th chapter. We all got this, I think, from the Vedas only. So the Vedic style, the Upanishadic style of writing is also the same. Same with Lord Vyasa writing the Bhagavad Gita. So in the beginning, the summary in the beginning in the Upanishad is called Pratignya or Mahapratignya, thesis statement. Thesis statement. Mahapratignya, big thesis statement, because that thesis statement will go to the end of that very chapter, like even Sadeva Somya Idam Agre Asit Ekameva Dvitiyam. That is Mahapratignya. Why is it Mahapratignya? Because it's the first statement, first line of the 6th chapter of the Chandogya Upanishad, and that chapter, that line, the meaning of that line, that sentence is going to carry forth till the end of the chapter. It is Mahapratignya. Sometimes it's just a nutshell of a few ideas, then it is called Pratignya. This is in the sense of when we talk about the Upanishads. When we talk about written works, prose or poetry, then we say Sangraha or Sankshepa. Sankshepa means in short. Sangraha means a collected summary. And the collected summary in the works, in the secondary Vedanta works, are of two kinds. What are they? Upakrama Sangraha. Upakrama means introduction, beginning. Upakrama Sangraha and Upasamhara Sangraha. Upasamhara means what? Conclusion. So Upakrama Sangraha, the summary at the beginning, Upasamhara Sangraha, the summary at the end. So we already had Upakrama Sangraha in chapter 2. In chapter 2, we had the vision of Vedanta, we had Karma Yoga, we had little bit of Bhakti, Ishvara, little bit everything. Why this Karma Yoga should be done? In fact, that was in short. So from chapter 3 to chapter 17, whatever was said in chapter 2 has been elaborately dealt with and discussed little by little, topic by topic, and those topics also very excitedly the later authors and commentators have divided the topics of teaching in various and manifold ways, and it's kind of fun to look at that. We will be looking at that briefly. So then chapter 18 is what is called Upakrama Samhara or Upasamhara Sangraha or Upasamhara Sankshepa, the concluding summary, because the conclusion also has to be told what all we have done, because if we study chapter by chapter, the human memory being such, we don't even know what we had for breakfast today, much less what we studied last week. So therefore, to bring it all in one place is a very, very good practice, so that there is Artha Spuranam and Medha Shakti Spuranam. The meaning lights up in the mind, and then the Medha Shakti recalls. So it's when you are told that this is what you were taught, then you say, yes, I remember. I remember this topic. I remember how I felt when I heard this. I remember how I felt when I read this and connected to this. This is what is, this is the purpose of the summary, according to the rules of how we should write these things in the ancient times. So now, a lot of commentators have remarked on, starting with Adi Shankara himself, have remarked on the 6, 6 and 6 chapter breakup. The first 6 chapters seem to have a certain focus and a certain topic. The middle 6 chapters seem to have a certain focus and certain topic. The last 6 chapters seem to have a certain focus and certain topic. One of the ways of breaking this up we have already seen. What is that? Tvampada vichara. An inquiry into the word you. You means I. An inquiry into the word I. Which 6 chapters? The first 6 chapters. Who am I? What should I do? Do I have a place in this world? Am I just a cog in the machine called this Jagat? Or am I an actor? Am I a conscious actor? Am I a conscious being? Do I have a purpose? If so, how do I realize this purpose? And should this purpose be accomplished by going off to the Himalayas with the Kamandalu in hand? Or should this purpose be accomplished while staying along with other, sometimes annoying beings? What should I do? This is all about what? Me. How should I be with other beings? How should I be with other non-beings like mountains, rocks, rivers? Non-beings mean not conscious beings, inert things. What is my connection to the so-called resources? What is my connection to other sentient beings? All this is the first 6 chapters, the topic. And then the middle 6 chapters is what? Tat-pada. Tat means what? Ishvara. We just saw that. Tat is Ishvara. Not only have I this me to reckon with, and other beings who are also calling, each of them calls themselves me, so many me's, and this Jagat, there seems to be something that connects me to other beings, and to this Jagat there seems to be some knowledge. We saw this in the morning class today. There seems to be some order to the scheme of things. What is this order? What is this order? Where is this order? How is this order manifesting itself? And does this order have a name? Yes, we can call it Ishvara. Where is this Ishvara? Where is the location? Can I have the GPS coordinates, please? GPS, Guru Paduka Stotram. Yeah, that's what it is. So, can I have the coordinates? Where do I find this Ishvara? Having found this Ishvara, how do I relate to this Ishvara? All these comprise what? The middle portion. Then finally, what is that? Asi. If you are going to be audacious enough to equate me with this Ishvara, how does this equation take place? When does it take place? Asi means you are. In a way, it's a present continuous. So, how I am, it's not bhavishyasi, tattvam asit. No, you were Ishvara, but look at you now, you can never be Ishvara. No. Or tattvam bhavishyasi, you will one day become Ishvara. No, it is asi, even now. Even now, with all my doubts and my despair, I am Ishvara. To say that itself takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of trepidation, fear, everything. So how am I Ishvara? How to make this? What kind of sadhanas can I do? What kind of conducive lifestyle can I have to make sure this knowledge enters the heart and stays in the heart, assimilates? This is what Tvam tat asi. This we have seen. There are also, interestingly, two other ways of classification of these 666. Okay? So the other classification is a little more straightforward. The first 6 chapters is Karma Yoga. Second 6 chapters is Bhakti. Last 6 chapters is Jnana. Simple. Karma Yoga as it, not just karma, Karma Yoga, then Bhakti, and then Jnana. So this group of 3 is from the standpoint of sadhana. Jnana sadhana, which is in the form of Shravanam and Manana Nididhyasanam and other things. Karma sadhana in the form of Karma Yoga, Bhakti sadhana in the form of Bhakti, Upasana. That is the second way of looking at it. And the third way of looking at it is from the standpoint of Ghataka. Ghataka Trayam. Ghataka means factors. Factors involved in, can we call it spiritual evolution, spiritual growth, perhaps. Factors involved in emotional maturity, spiritual growth. What are they? First 6 chapters, prayatna, effort. It's all about right relationships, right action, right way of taking the results through what is that called? Prasada, buddhi, etc. Right relationship to nature and other people, all these things. Right action, prayatna. Then the middle shatka, the middle 6th portion is prasada. Prasada means grace. How to milk the grace of Bhagavan. How to get the grace of Bhagavan. And then the last 6 are called Sadgunaha. Sadgunaha means how to develop the values and attitudes to gain this knowledge. This is one more way of classification. So the authors have fun. They are very excited about coming and putting forth newer and newer ways of classifying this. For us, new means at least 5,000 years old. Okay, so newer and newer ways of classifying this. So that is how we should look at the 18th chapter. Now, from our standpoint, we have just been dealing with it on a day-to-day basis, conversation between who and who? Lord Krishna and Arjuna. And usually, why does the chapter start? Arjuna will ask a question. Here too, Arjuna asks a question. When we look at the question, it is this same question, exactly same question, that came in chapter 3. Jayasi chet karmanaste ata buddhir janardana tatkin karmani ghore mam niyojayasi keshava ya mishrene vakyena buddhim mohayasi vame tadekam vadanishchitya yena shreyoham apnuyam. And then, in fact, he took 2 verses to ask this question. Then he kept quiet. At the end of chapter 3, he had one small question. And then he kept quiet for all of chapter 4 and listened. And then what happened? It should have stopped at chapter 4. At the beginning of chapter 5, he had one more question. What was the question? Open, chant. Sanyasam karmanam Krishna Yogam cha shamsasi Yayanikayo Rikam Tamme Brohi Sunishchitam. Exactly. Do you see the similarities? Shreya, Sannyasa, Sunishchitam. All three words are also the same. Okay. Then he was a really good boy till chapter 12. Open chapter 12. Read the question there. Bhakta svam paryupasate sharam yaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Okay, this we have to give to him. He camouflage. This is the same question in camouflage. Okay. The army, when it goes to ambush, they wear some, what is that? Yeah, but what is that? I know it's camouflage, but what is it supposed to do? Hide, yes. Camouflage means hide. So what is it supposed to do? It makes you look like the trees, blend into the background. Blend into the background, as though I'm not there. And then sometimes they'll put some tree branches and everything. And so that they just kind of slowly go. When nobody is looking, you just go and stand. Few steps you go. And so this same question, which was in chapter 3, which was in chapter 5, which had already come in the beginning of, at the end of chapter 1 in Yotsya, I want to, it's better to go to take a life of sannyasa. At the close of chapter 1 and the beginning of chapter 2, he had already declared, I don't want to do this, I want to take sannyasa. He was a sannyasaholic. He really wanted sannyasa. Why? Because look at these people who I have to kill. It's not a nice job. I don't want to kill them. I don't want to do anything. These are all my people. My grandfather, my uncles, my teacher. What kind of punya papa I will get? All this. So therefore, he had already asked this question 3 times, if you count the chapter 2. So therefore, he put a little army camouflage on it. And then he said, who is dearer to you? The yogis who worship you as an Ishta Devata. Peacock feather, flute, Sagunam Brahma. Flute, Pitambara Dhari, wearing yellow clothes, eating butter, teasing gopis. This is the one. Those are the worshippers you love more. Are they more dear to you? Or the people who contemplate upon Nirgunam Brahma? Means what? Sannyasis. Same question. Exact same question. And now, in the 18th chapter also, the exact same question comes. And what is that question? What is sannyasa? In other words, he knows what is sannyasa. What is he really asking? Why can't I have it? How come all these other people are getting it? What about me? Why can't I have it? This is the question. And then you keep talking about tyaga, tyaga of ragadvesha, tyaga of karma bhala, tyaga of all kinds of things. And then you keep talking about sannyasa. Sannyasa is also tyaga. What's the difference between tyaga and sannyasa? One more vesha through which this is being expressed. Om atha ashtadashodhyayah. Arjuna uvacha. Sannyasasya mahabaho. Tattvamichhami veditum. Tyagasya cha hrishikesha. Prithak keshi nishudana.